Now, FlaSh's style on this map has been met, but of course now he's playing against a Protoss. And we talked about before, his weakness seems to be Protoss. No, more than half of his loss. In fact, 4 out of 6, 2/3 of his losses are to Protoss. He's 2-4 in the matchup. He's having a tough time, and you know his mech style on Outboxer is not going to save him here against a Protoss.
Yeah, he has a whole different enemy up against him, a whole different entity to go against here, and you know he's 2-4 against Protoss in Pro League. That's his worst matchup by far, and he's going up against one of the strongest Protosses, who's currently 2-0 against Terran right now. It is Rain for SK Telecom. You guys see his total Pro League standings as well, 78 and 56.
Yeah,
a guy who's oftentimes very, very safe, very, very standard, very macro-oriented, but you can see him change it up here against Terran.
Yeah, Byrain, one of those players in StarCraft 1 who was pretty solid towards the end of Broodor's career. He's, you know, a player who did very well towards the end of StarCraft 1's lifetime. That was where he got most of his wins, I would say. Played a lot of televised matches there. And now moving into StarCraft 2, gliding in basically one of the better transitions we've seen. You know, much more successful than FlaSh in individual leagues, for example. Now, if Rain fails here, it's all over. And KT defeats SKT again flawlessly without dropping a single set. As mentioned before, the map is Outbox, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. FlaSh versus Rain here at the SPL.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, the Terran player for KT Rolster, it is FlaSh.
To the top left, in the orange, it's Rain. Oh, I know this. I guess he went by Sun for a while as well. If I'm not confusing too many Broodor IDs.
So he switched from Sun to Rain.
I think that's what happened. If I'm not mistaken. Like, there's a lot of you know, in Brood War, like in StarCraft 2, but in Brood War, it wasn't a big foreign scene of viewers, and so players were always referred to by their Korean names, as you guys can see at the top of the screen. You would never ever see someone in a Korean broadcast ever listed with their ID. Happy FlaSh Day, that says.
There are so many messages on that board if you just look at that.
Yeah.
All in those tiny Korean letters. Actually, in our little packets that we got, we also got little letters as well.
Yeah, I may send some excerpts of that on to Twitter later. But
I'll take a picture of that.
But going back to what I was saying earlier, because in Korea players are known as their first name. For example, imagine if you know, Huck was actually just always known as Chris Laranger, like, and nobody ever called him Huck. Think about it that way. Huck would never be shown on the screen. It would always just say Chris Laranger. That's how things are in Korea. Now in StarCraft 2, that was switched because in the GSL, players were required to put their IDs into English characters so that the global viewers could respect that, and that became kind of the standard for StarCraft 2. So when you look at these players' IDs in StarCraft 1, that's a bunch of roots.
I don't know the meaning behind that.
Is that
Can you
it might be
enlighten me,
ginseng or something.
Okay.
But anyways, like, FlaSh fans aside, like, let me finish this thought. I'm almost done. So once players were required to have their IDs in English, that's when it became more common, because StarCraft 2 was huge in the foreign scene and was a little bit later coming into Korea. When you have a player's ID in StarCraft 1, it was often just based on what you saw in the Brood War lobby as to how the foreign fans would interpret IDs. Yep. Okay, so we're going to have an eBay block here.
Yes, we are.
A lot of fans
after we get a shot.
I really want to see like what's going on with this eBay block, because he doesn't see it. He does have a Zealot queued, so he's not going to cancel that now.
Yeah, the Reaper on the way as well, but look at that, so long time spent at that engineering bay.
That's about as good as it gets. It's like 95% completion.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to knock that down, and this SCV for a while is going to just roam around the base until that Mothership core comes out as well. Reaper follow-up here is going to be able to micro on that Zealot until the Mothership core comes out as well.
Yeah, really annoying. You know, in StarCraft, you know, before, if there were no Mothership core here in StarCraft 2, this would be like a nightmare come to life.
Oh yeah. That would just be so annoying.
I mean, it's annoying as it is, but the eBay going up to like 95% completion. He even pulls the Mothership Core back to stop doing damage to the eBay for a second because of the Reaper, and then he's like, well, I guess the Reaper's not coming in. Even the Pro participates here. He's going to cancel the last second. Boom. 94 minerals back. That Nexus severely delayed. Look at it compared to the Command Center timing.
Yeah, and FlaSh, as FlaSh does, is going to follow this up with the CC as well as an Engineering Bay back at his own house, or his own base, I should say.
Trying to figure out, like,
GG
Go. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's clever.
Wow.
Anyways.
Yeah, that Korean there was go, or girl, GG girl, so GG girl.
Well, does he get away?
No,
not even the
dies.
pieces come down. Robotics is the tech for Rain. Not too out of the ordinary for Rain. We've seen him do blink plays a little bit more often recently just to throw his opponents off because he's one of the most predictable Protoss players that we've ever seen. Most of the strength of Protoss recently, I feel, comes from their unpredictability. I mean, let's list good Protoss players for a minute. Okay, you take Rain and Creator. Those are the predictable ones. And then you take Parting. Okay, then you take SOS. Then you take Hero. Then you take Super. And you're like, all these players are so hard to predict. They could do anything at any given time.
Yeah. If you give a Protoss player, if you create this super strong Protoss player that, you know, he's known for a certain type of build like Rain, a certain type of play style he's very safe. He loves to play safe, just lay back at his macro up. But he knows how to cheese you. He knows how to all-in you. He knows how to timing attack you at any time. And you have to be ready to expect it at any time in any game. And that's one of the hardest things to deal with, especially as a Terran player.
Yeah. Now he goes into full green mode here, right? He's on one gate with Robotics making observers, 2 of them. And, you know, getting the +1 armor. So he's super greedy here. But because he killed the Reaper, the Scouting Reaper, he knows that this is unknown to FlaSh, so a little bit annoying for FlaSh here.
Yeah, this is something you can do, like you said, you kill that Reaper. It gives you a lot of time where the Terran player is not scouting you down, where you can use that time to just get your build up and be a little bit greedy there. There's our MCU comes on stage before the stream actually starts up and introduces the GG girls.
Yeah, she's very enthusiastic. Comes up and gets people excited in all sorts of ways. Now, this observer will come in here, see the additional barracks, and doesn't actually see, if I'm not mistaken, the starport timing. Okay, now he's going to confirm it.
Yep, now he sees it, sees the reactor going on as well.
This is actually really scary for him because he's like making a Warp Prism, a Twilight Council back at home. He just got additional gates up. He's got basically no units, and you know, he needs to be very careful. He needs to start powering up and getting some units out right now because I'm a little bit worried for him.
Yeah. We've seen, you know, Rain, he does this safe kind of build, but if FlaSh has a timing attack planned here for a game where Rain is going to be this greedy, it could really spell some damage for Rain. And we see FlaSh coming across the map right now. It's only a little group of Marines for now, maybe trying to snipe out an observer or something. In the meantime, though, he does start his 3rd base, so no timing attack is going to come across the map just yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like a timing poke. It's not really an attack. Now with all the warped in units here, he will be fine. And there's no medevacs at the other side of the map just yet. This Warp Prism is spotted. Great position here by FlaSh on that Marine. He stims to chase, damaging the shield slightly. And with these Marines over here, he can easily deny this. It would be a bad idea for Rain to even attempt to go into the main base right now. But during all of this fake pressure that he puts on, you know, he doesn't do damage. So Rain, in a sense, gets away with what he's done greedily. But he doesn't know about the 3rd command center, and that's how FlaSh is going to catch up here. And he gets away with it with this pressure. That's how it flows.
Yep, that's about it. We see FlaSh has 1-1 for his units, but Rain, on the other hand, is about to get his +2 to armor up. So with these guys, kind of similar in upgrades, not too much. But Rain, on the other hand, he's getting a ton of tech. He's getting his Twilight Council. He's getting Charge right now. He's his Templar Archives, getting a bunch of High Templar out there. He has Charge as well. Has the Robotics, of course.
No concussive shells here means he doesn't get the Stalker. He's going to lose 3 Marines. Wow, that hurts. That was a pretty nice pick off there for Rain. Immediately starts concussive shells back at home. It's not an issue of him forgetting it. Of course, he was researching stem and combat shields first off of just one tech lab. Part of the reason why his Marauder count is so low right now. And we'll see what Rain has planned next. Looks like he really still wants to commit to using that Warp Prism for harass. Warping in, it looks like just 2 Zealots here.
Yep, the Marine not going to see it. It's just going to pass by. May get a scout on that Warp Prism. No, it doesn't. This Marine just, again, poking at the front, seeing what Rain has right now, isn't going to see much. Concussive Cell's not yet done here. A nice bunker in a really nice position here. It's going to really bug out the AI of Zealot run-bys that go into that third base. And right now, Rain has these storms with the 2 High Templars, so FlaSh is playing with fire here. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, he really is, man. And he's no Maru here, that's for sure. This control is not as good as Maru's. He doesn't have Widow Mines in the group as well, so he's playing this old school. He's not doing the new age Widow Mine poke, where you have a bunch of Widow Mines to support against the Zealots. His medevac count is getting a little bit higher, and he is starting to finally add those Widow Mines in, but they're not with his army, right? And without them being with the army, they're kind of irrelevant. He needs to move those across the map. Having them back at home is just a waste of minerals at this point.
Yeah, he's got to start moving them across the map. FlaSh is about to finish +2 to his attack at the same time here. This Warp Prism not going to drop any probes there for a hidden Dark Shrine. Instead, it's going to try to do, again, this harass. But again, FlaSh with a nice Marine position here. Just keeping 1 Marine on each side of the map for these Warp Prism drops is really going to save him a lot of time and save him from a lot of harassment. Even has the safety missile turrets in the base at the same time.
I feel like he might try to intercept this Warp Prism. Maybe he's in a good position for it. Continues to poke at the third base while he sends a drop squad of 4 over here. Feedbacks are instantaneous. 2 drops go down. Storm on the Marauders plus the cannons. And this drop was as shut down as it gets. 1 Widow Mine shot goes off, but not a whole lot of damage. Even the cannon finishes him off. Another storm goes off over here. And Rain is hitting those drops like a salmon out of water, man. That was just nothing getting done here. Look at this.
Yeah, he's got it covered. Nice storms going. Super good force fields as well. Even the medevac being sniped here. This drop gets shut down. Both of these players just so safe and so meticulous with their building placement. The 2 cannons by Rain there blocking off in the back of his natural. Like, oh my god.
Every advantage that FlaSh had in this game was erased except his upgrades. That's the only thing he has going for himself right now. He cannot engage this. Feedbacks go down the medevacs now. And now he's kiting away here. Widow Mines do burrow. They take a little while. And we'll see how many good hits he gets with those. Going to eliminate some of these Zealots, but loses his medevac actually to that splash damage. Again, kiting very nicely, but there's too much range damage here. He is eventually going to be pushed back. Army supplies right now in favor of Rain with a more expensive composition. 2 Archons, 3 Immortals. He's now getting the double upgrades, so he's going to counter FlaSh's upgrades pretty soon. The Ghosts coming out here for FlaSh right now are really important. He's in dire need of those. He needs to be able to hit those EMPs, not only on the Templar, but also to hit those Archons.
Yeah, I feel like Rain's army right now is definitely a lot stronger, especially if he hit right now before the Ghost came out. But of course, Rain does not know this, and he's being Rain. He's not going to go for the attack here. He's going to back off just for now. Probably try to take a 4th base while harassing. He's coming in here with 2 High Templar.
Storms. Will he get denied? So far, so good. No Vikings to chase. And that's the other thing, by the way. No Vikings. That means that Rain can switch to Colossi at any given moment. That would be a very scary thing. He's going to start picking off this wall a little bit. The bunker, of course, just a little bit out of range here.
Yeah, just a little bit. These Zealots are eventually going to be denied. High Templar in that Warp Prism right now. All the SUVs were moved, so they weren't able to do damage, but he's coming into the main base. Good drop at the main.
And FlaSh actually moving his SUVs here a little bit late, but still, looks like only 1 or 2 kills. Second storm goes off, killing a few Marines, maybe like 2. So definitely a good deny there by FlaSh. He takes a pretty massive lead in army supply, so the size of his army is nice. Remember, the cost of the army, though, and the better army still definitely going to Rain.
Yep. There's that 4th base he's taking. He's adding a Robo Bay as well, try to go for those Colossus. He has 2 Forges right now being chrono boosted with those upgrades as well. He's about to hit 2-2 or 2-3 rather right now. Could definitely fight very well with those, but the EMPs right now are so key for FlaSh. What does he get? Very nice snipes on the High Templar so far. Gets 2.
Yeah, that one little Widow Mine over there. Just helping out. If he can get some connects here. Snipes an Archon, gets a second one. And FlaSh with a large army here needs to dodge storms. He does a decent dodge here, and now his army may just be big enough. That Archon goes down. Can he get a second one here? There's so many medevacs. FlaSh style here. He loves to make a ton of those. The Archons here are all gone, and the Immortals at the back barely doing anything. And has FlaSh done it? I think he has.
He's done it here. He has completely wrecked the army of Rain. He takes out the third base. There's just nothing here. The Widowmine's underground doing so much damage. A lackluster Storm coming in does a bit of damage, but there's nothing here for Rain. Supply is dropped to 74. Gonna come in here and take out the fourth base as well. FlaSh has done it.
Those 3 observers, man, just sitting over there. That's like the symbol of Rain. Passivity, defensiveness, robotics play against Terrans. You know, the only harassment he really got done was that Warp Prism drop, which wasn't enough. GG! FlaSh fangirls screaming, going crazy. He's been doing this for 7 years, and he's gonna just keep doing it. 3-0 win for KT today. A great point for them for their indicator. And for SKT, things are looking bad. It shows the 7.
Oh yeah, that's the FlaSh I love. Comes in with the win, takes it 3-0 for KT. Fangirls just going absolutely insane. Some of them almost crying right now. They got to be so happy. He's done it on his 7th anniversary. Oh my God.
Well, this is a very momentous moment, I would say, for FlaSh in his career, to have this many people in the studio, you know, wearing his name on their signs. It was a huge banner with his face on it above the KT bench. And, I mean, just listen to that. You guys can't even hear it as well as we can because you're sitting at home hearing it through our mics, but, like, how loud that is that you hear.
The piercing sound of fangirl screams.
Rain takes a heavy loss here. And we committed a lot to Immortals. He was trying to make that switch to Colossi. The timing hit him with good EMPs, good micro. The Widowmine shots were excellent as well. And the EMPs were pretty critical. So I have to say, I mean, going into that fight, it looked like Rain could have won the fight with a few more storms.